Well, hello and a very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the episode number 269 of Solar Lions, a global talk show that celebrates the spirit of service leadership with the Lions International, proudly broadcasted across more than 180 plus countries. I'm Lion Navdeep Nigam, your host and the first Vice President of Lions Club of Mumbai Soul, the Leo District Chairperson for Leo District 3231A3, and the Chief Youth Transformation Officer for Leo Multiple 3231. We are here with yet another immaculate episode of Solar Plans, and under the visionary direction of our mentor, Lion Dr. Raju Manwani, we've curated tonight's episode in the most emphatic manner. Our fabulous episodes are brought to you by the support of our distinguished associates and sponsors, Gretex Corporate Services rather Limited, Property Anthem India Private Limited, DC Gallery and DC Collections, Krishna Impex Private Limited, Vivian Garments, Khanville Resort, and Khushia India Foundation. Tonight's episode of Soul of Lions celebrates not just two extraordinary individuals, but a partnership built on intellect, compassion, and service. We welcome the remarkable power couple. Their story is one of brilliance and balance. Two highly accomplished lawyers, two dynamic thinkers, and two hearts driven by an unshakable belief in justice and humanity. One stands tall as a legal veteran with 24 years of distinguished practice experience since his enrollment in the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa in 2001, and a proud alumnus of Government Law College, Mumbai. He also commands deep authority across both civil and criminal litigation at the High Court of Bombay and the multiple special courts, including MCOCA and anti corruption matters. Known for his strategic case analysis and persuasive advocacy, he has built a reputation as one of the most formidable defense lawyers of his era. Beyond law, his versatility shines from being a multilingual Doordarshan news correspondent who has interviewed icons like Mr. Narendra Modi, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and many, many more. On the other hand, we have an alpha woman in this powerful reunion who is equally exceptional. A legal professional admired for her clarity, courtroom finesse, and the emphatic approach to justice. Her work spans civil, commercial, and social litigation with a strong commitment to causes like women's safety, domestic violence awareness, and youth upliftment. A powerful communicator, she is a sought after speaker for legal and leadership platforms, inspiring audiences with her grounded wisdom and determined personality. She embodies the belief that law is merely not a career, but a mission to uplift society. And together, they are a testament to what partnership grounded in purpose can achieve. Two strong individuals who amplify each other's strengths while sharing a unified dedication to service. Now, when I say service, at their heart of the journey lies Lionism. Both have been deeply involved in impactful projects across education, legal awareness, women empowerment, and social welfare. One currently leads as the president of Lions Club of Mumbai Carter Road for the Lionistic Year 25-26, while the other one continues to empower young leaders and volunteers and various clubs across major service initiatives as region chairperson for Region 6, Lions District 3231A3. Soul of Lions, ladies and gentlemen, it proudly presents to you two brilliant professionals, two devoted lions, and one inspirational bond. Lion advocate Kanishk Jayant and Lion advocate Unnati Dhurandhar.
Hello, Navdeep.
Welcome to the show, both of you. Thank you so much, firstly, from the entire team of Soul of Lions for coming on the show and giving your time to us. Thank you so much once again.
Good evening,
Thank
Dr.
you so much for having us.
Perfect. So, we've obviously met as all of us are lions, but there's going to be an intricate understanding to, and for rather, all our viewers today who've joined us in various parts to get an understanding about both of you. Very intriguable characters. We've had great responses on Facebook since the time we let out the poster that both of you are going to be coming on the show. And there's a lot of intrigue in the Lions also to get to know the actual story and the entire story behind Lionism. So I'll start off with both of you, but you both can take the first question individually as it comes. We can start with Unnati. Uh, so
Sure.
Unnati, tell us a little about yourself as an individual. All of us know you as a very very emphatic lion leader. Tell us a little about yourself, where you come from, and also tell us where or how did you get acquainted to lionism. And the same question, Kanish, you can take over as soon as Unnati finishes.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Navdeep. Um, Lionism happened. It's just happened to me. I was introduced to Lionism by a friend, and thereafter, the manner in which the organization's commitment to service and community development um, it just resonated with my thoughts and beliefs, and that's how I am a part of an integral part of Lionism today. But speaking about myself, uh, the Unnati, not the Lion Unnati. Born and brought up in Mumbai. Most of my education is from Mumbai, thereafter in the United Kingdom and Canada. And I hail from a family, a very diverse background, actually. My forefathers have led a life of philanthropy. They were the ones who introduced a Mercedes, Cadillac, Hillman, Studebaker, so on and so forth, to India. This is the pre-independence time, and they did phenomenal work when it came to philanthropy. So I guess it's trickled from there.
Lovely. That's fantastic. What about you, Kanish? Let our viewers know a little about you and how did your journey into Lionism start?
Well, my journey in Lionism started because of my better half, Unnati. She became a lion, and initially it was as her husband, as a friend. I used to accompany her to all Lions events, being concerned about sometimes the timings of Lions events. That she should not be, she should get proper transport, she should not be inconvenienced. So I attended few of Lions programs initially. As you know, when you're new in the college, for first few lectures, you don't understand sometimes, you know. But then something in the college, either the college canteen or the professor who takes lectures, his style of narration, something touches your heart, and then you call yourself a proud product of that particular educational institution. Something like that happened with me while attending our service projects in the satellite area. I saw the struggle of all those ladies for water, for basic sanitation. And then, as a lawyer, I asked myself a question that I have taken up this profession because there's a lot of challenge. I want to challenge the foundations of the society to create a better society. I found some challenge, which I was always aspiring to embrace in Lionism, in all those satellite areas. And that's how I'm here.
Fantastic. Great. And I think it's intriguing to all of us, that intellectual people like both of you are actually devoted towards humanitarian causes also. I think that's something which already puts a great impetus in terms of how the society is going to progress further. Okay, let's move on a little bit from the initial questions are now done. So I believe the ice breaking is already over with regards to showcasing this particular episode. Kanishk, I'll start with you. Obviously, all of us have this particular question. Most of the affluent people who are associated with social organizations have this particular thing, or rather most of the ones trying to follow them in their footsteps have this particular question as to how one manages their time schedules and also the devotion towards humanitarian causes whilst having a successful professional career. So how has that particular boat been sailing for you? Has it been rocky enough, or you've been managing it well?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a different format of service. Just the way we in cricket we have Test match, one day, and 2020. Uh, I have my practice area is my Test match format. My social engagements, they come in the one day format, and sometimes on weekends, most probably on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, there is that, I would say, one day and a 2020 format of Lionism. Uh, so I'm passionate about everything that is done for humanity. I've always been a very passionate poet since my childhood, a theater person, and I come from a family where my grandfather was a farmer leader, Kisan Neta, as they call it. So I have seen thousands of people protesting for their rightful demands, and my grandfather as a school teacher leading them. From that, it came to my father, who worked very hard, and he retired as an IAS officer in Maharashtra. So he dedicated his life uh, by being the part of the government, by being a part of the executive, and that's how from my father and from my grandfather I got basic understanding and grooming of social and political life. Law is something is very close to my heart because wherever there is injustice, you naturally have an impulse, which is almost the same impulse as Mr. Bachchan gave in all his legendary movies, be it Diwar, Dawn, Trishul, Agnipath. So all of us have that some element of Vijay Dinanath Chauhan in our system, in our heart. So I am here with that sentiment. I am here with that fervor. I am here with that flavor.
Fabulous. I'm just happy about the fact that you're actually carrying out the Vijay Dinanath Chauhan in a legal manner, which is really nice. Okay, fantastic. That's a greatly good answer. I'm really, really happy. And I was actually expecting such great answers from when I knew that, yeah, both of you guys are going to be there on the show today. So, fantastic. Thank you so much for that answer. Unnati, to you, of course, coming from an affluent background with, great education behind you and obviously a great legacy, as you put it, when it comes to philanthropy. But I just wanted to ask from you, and this is a question that we got from a lot of viewers also that you need to ask both of them this. Kanishk has already given his perspective, but I wanted to know from you, coming from affluent backgrounds and still having very hectic schedule in the work days, obviously that take place. Post that, dedicating even the weekends to the societal welfare programs as well as doing these philanthropic activities, it obviously requires a different kind of dedication. No matter how much we say that the concept of working for an NGO is just giving out money, it is not that. We all know that because we've worked on the ground levels. How does that dedication come in week after week after week, or rather, if I may say, weekend after weekend?
Yes, Navdeep, you guessed it right. It does require a lot of adjustment, and Kanishk and myself, both of us lead very hectic weekdays with our respective court schedules. So, since both of us are so deeply engrossed into Lionism, we, as a couple, take those satellite service projects that we go for as our date with the marginalized, our date with the underprivileged, and that's how we get to understand each other better. So that's how we take the time out, and we really enjoy that process.
Fabulous. That's great. Unnati, I'll start off with you when it comes to the Lions perspective. We'll delve into that particular part a little now. Of course, you had more experience compared to Kanishk when it comes to Lionism, as you entered before. What I wanted to understand from your perspective is, you guys have fabulous, area of knowledge. There are a lot of people who would be approaching you in terms of social organizations also. But amongst a plethora of social organizations existent around India as well as the world, you ended up choosing Lions International. Now, I want to know your personal reason for choosing Lions International as the social NGO to work for.
Oh, Lionism, it stands out. It stands out with its grassroots level impact. So we see it, Lions have a very community driven approach to whatever they do. They're passionate about the beneficiaries that they serve. The we serve is taken very, very seriously. It's taken with compassion, humility, dedication, and Lionism creates a ripple effect, and you're just inspired to be a part of the creators, the small part to make a better world.
Fabulous. I think that's something which would definitely drive inspiration to others also. Kanishk, a little question to you. We all see that every single lion who's actually come on this particular platform has had very different experiences when it comes to joining Lionism. And I can vouch, being the host for more than 269 episodes, that majority of them did not have a full-fledged or a planned inclination towards service. They just stumbled upon the same. Now, I have ended up asking them the same question I asked you. that when we enter Lionism, obviously some of us just enter through friends, influences, and probably some of our relatives probably there in the organization. Sometimes something else. In your case, of course, Unnati was a reference point that actually was there. But all of us as Lions, once we enter the system, have this one magical moment which kind of like turns our inclination towards Lionism very strong and very individual and very personal. And it kind of makes us believe that, okay, we need to be in the system probably because we can probably, affect change, or this is something which we observe, which has kind of changed us personally. So what was that one, moment of truth for you, which kind of like inclined you totally towards Lionism to continue as an individual?
Navdeep, I can say that not one, but I had many such moments. But one particular moment which stands out, which has which has stayed with me permanently, is the vivid imagery of school children who are 6 or 7 years old at Vikramgarh in an ashram shala. And I spoke to them and I asked them that, बेटा आपने आपसे आपके माँ बाप से आप कब मिले हो, कब मिले माँ से आप? So the answer was that girl started looking here and there, and then one of her friends said 2 साल पहले. So that is something which I couldn't talk to her after that. And इतनी छोटी बच्ची अगर 2 साल के बाद अपने माँ बाप को मिलने वाली है, तो हम सबको कुछ ना कुछ करना चाहिए. So that is one thing that is which is permanently etched on my heart at Vikramgarh.
100%. I can obviously vouch for that. I've been to the project at Vikramgarh, and it's a fantastic school. And I believe Leos and Lions, both of them, have been entities who've worked for that particular school at Vikramgarh. And God bless the children out there who are actually doing so well. Fantastic. So obviously, all of us have our Lions journeys and stuff. But as we delve into Lionism, we obviously find certain gaps that can be filled. Lionism and the world itself is a very evolving phenomenon, and I believe it's important for leaders like yourself to kind of delve into those things, and all of us to kind of like use these public platforms to talk about those also. But just before that, I'll obviously try and understand a little about your Lionistic journey so that our viewers can also get a little bit of a feel for the same. So Unnati, of course, you've had the experience of leading your club, and obviously way before that, being a part of the club, and from there getting a chance to lead. Now moving on to the district as region chairperson, where you're taking care of more than 8 clubs as your babies. So I would just
24.
Yeah, 24. That's fantastic. So I would just like you to kind of delve into the fact as to how has the gradual progression been in Lionism. And then, of course, when you took up leadership at the club level, somewhere down the line, all of us know that when you take leadership at the club level, you kind of know the entire population of the club. But when it's district and it's 24 clubs, it's a hell lot, because you've got clubs with less tenure, you've got clubs in the rural areas, you've got clubs with a lot of tenure, and at the same time, a lot of projects already planned where they don't probably or very necessarily invite direction. So how do you manage both of them, and how are the experiences at the club level, and how different is it to work at the district?
I come from Lions Club of Mumbai Kata Road. That's my parent club. And as you know, Lions Club of Mumbai Kata Road is extremely organized, and we have a very corporate structure to our board meetings and the manner in which we work and we function. We have specific CSR partners, and the manner in which our compliances happen with the Charity Commissioner's Office or the income tax, it's absolutely spot on. But when I moved out of my club as zone chairperson, that was the time when I had those 8 clubs with me. And all of them, it was like a box of assorted chocolates. All of them, they looked like chocolates because they were clubs, but they were very, very different from one another. Some of them would desist having a DG visit, a district governor's visit. Some of them didn't have as many board meetings as are required to be had. So it's very, very different when you step out from the your club level to the realm of the district. And now as region chairperson with 24 clubs, starting from Bandra all the way to Vasai, Agashi, that further, out of Mumbai. So it's a very, very broad spectrum. They have their own separate culture, and some of them are open, they're receptive, and they want to be more compliant. Whereas there are some who are older clubs, or perhaps the members are older than I am, and they don't want any of those lessons. They're very happy in the manner in which they're functioning, and no amount of persuasion makes any difference. They're happy to do their service. Compliances can take a backseat.
Absolutely, I think that's something which is I think a plethora of changes which obviously comes with the job, and I'm sure that you're dealing with it as best as you can. As they say, as the more the amount of responsibility that comes to you, it's always something which is a cherry on top, because you get to learn so much when it comes to people skills also,
Absolutely.
especially delving from various areas. Kanishk, I'll come to you on this particular follow-up also. She mentioned about the district aspect, of course, but you've got that particular aspect to deal with in the club level also. You're leading the club as of now
Correct.
for the last year 25, 26. There's a lot of demographic change, when it comes to age, and when it comes to people coming from different backgrounds, having a certain set of identities, ideology, all those things to deal with, and at the same time to keep them at bay and also make them contribute in the club in the best possible manner. How have you been relishing this responsibility that you have, and how's it going till now?
Well, in that sense, I'm lucky to have Unnati as my past president. So I have inherited certain traditions which were there in the club,
Yeah.
some new traditions which were introduced by her, which were not there in our club. For example, constantly updating club members about the district activities,
Yeah.
constantly updating district and club members about what is happening at the international level. So that is something which she started in our club, and I was benefited because of that. And most of my club members are like my grandparents. When I talk to them, I get that beautiful memory of talking to my nana nani, which unfortunately I don't have today. They are not with us. My aji azoba, as we call in Marathi. So when I talk to them, it's from the point of view of their grandson or as their son. And when that dialogue happens, afterwards, work just flows. I understand their strengths, their experience, the life which they have led, why they have joined Lionism. Many of them have joined to battle their loneliness, and now they're doing wonderful work. So it's like, it reminds me of that famous song, मुश्किल में है कौन किसी का, समझो इस राज को, लेकर अपना नाम कभी तुम खुद को आवाज दो. So once you have that moment on a one-to-one level with a person, and you understand the essence of that person's personality, it becomes a lot easier, because ultimately we are dealing with human beings, we are dealing with emotions. It has to be, it can get more and more corporate, but it has to be personalized. So that's my mantra. That's how I give love and receive love from my club members.
Fabulous. Very true to your calm demeanor, I guess. That's how you answered the question also in a more diplomatic manner. But I'll poke a little on this particular aspect, of course. Just for the benefit of the young leaders who are coming into the fore. Obviously, you mentioned, of course, they need to be dealt with a calm demeanor, and of course, to try and build relativity. That's obviously the biggest job of the leader, to kind of like have relativity towards the people he's representing, he or she is representing. My question to you is, of course, you said that the one-to-one touch is obviously important, but how do you incorporate the progress of a club along with obviously the one-to-one, understanding. How do you incorporate the progress of the club in sync with all the technological advancements or probably the revolutionary dynamism that is going to be happening within the NGOs? As we all know, the NGOs don't remain the NGOs that were there working probably 20 years ago or 10 years ago also. There's a massive change, when it comes to incorporation of technologies, in terms of, embracing the new type of grants that have come in. Even the concept of, showcasing the things that you do. At one point in time, एक हाथ से charity करो तो दूसरे को पता नहीं चलना चाहिए था used to be the mantra, and in today's day and age, it's almost like we want to tell everyone that we are there so that they know that we are there to help. So, how are you managing those things along with keeping this relativity? Of course, it drives all these people towards you as a leader and makes them contribute towards the club. But how do you make them more aware about, adjusting to these new transformations that are taking place?
Right. So in our club, in Lions Club of Mumbai Carter Road, we have PST meetings on every Wednesday on Zoom. And to our great surprise, our senior members don't give any leave of absence. They're always there. So because of our weekly PST meetings, they have become savvy about using Zoom very, very effectively. So at times they are in US, Dubai, wherever they are. They may or may not do their domestic course, but they're there for the club Zoom meeting, PST meeting. That's one thing. Another thing is in Lions Club of Mumbai Carter Road, we have something called as Action Taken Report. So ATR, as we call it. So whatever resolutions are passed by our board and our interaction with beneficiaries, to what extent we have actually implemented that. That is something which the PST team presents it before the board on every board meeting. So that ATR is some kind of a self-regulatory audit that we have to do of our own work. And then the entire board of directors, they audit our work, they have the critical remarks, which encourages us to be more and more objective. But we have ensured one thing, that while being objective about everything, one cannot forget the fact that we are dealing with human issues. Some of them are very urgent: medical aid, medical relief, cancer patients. So at such times, we have our PST delegates some of its responsibilities to one or two members. There are chairpersons for separate areas.
Mhm.
If someone is heading cancer relief, the other person is for education, someone else is for water sanitation. So work is divided between us, and we get we delegate running around and that kind of a work to younger members, relatively younger members, as no one is old in our club. We have gold, we have no old, uh, you know, people in our club. Whatever that we have. So in the company of Pure Gold, we navigate our path of, fine tuning our action taken report and constantly building some kind of a rapport with the end beneficiary, with doctors, with a host of people. We are fortunate to have some very, very eminent doctors, ophthalmologists, at the same time some oncologists who specialize in the field of gynecological oncology issues.
Mhm.
So all those things, we have a certain talent pool. One of our member is former deputy governor, RBI. So with their experience, their wisdom, and with whatever youth power that we have, we are able to divide the work, allocate it to people who can do running around part. Some people strategize it, and then again we come back for weekly PSTs. We have board regularly. We are stickler for conducting our board and trustee meetings. So it's a combination of self-auditing, intrinsic auditing that is expected in Lionism,
Mhm.
all of that taken together.
Fabulous. I think that's almost like a SWOT analysis that you projected for the club. That's fantastic. And I think, one of the major reasons why you've been leading so well. Unnati, I'll put this particular question a little more in a holistic manner to you. You obviously
Sure.
led the club 2 years in a row. And at the
That's
same
right.
time, then you district experience also. But at the same time, you've been pretty active in terms of understanding activities at the international also in terms of how things are going. Now, as of
Right.
now, India stands as one of the major beacons of even carrying the Lions international beacon forward.
Sure.
Everyone's looking at India when it comes to the total amount of population we've got because we are doing the best in the world in terms of the project analysis as well as the MJF contributions. Everywhere, India is technically doing the best. Now, my question to you, of course, is as you are also touted as one of the incoming young leaders, how do you see the entire system uh, being more in terms of offering to the young population to attract them to actually join Lionism as an organization? Especially at one point of time in today's day and age, rather when social profiles are extremely important, which they weren't at one point of time, which have multitude of benefits, which honestly was not the case probably a decade or two ago. How do you see the overall strategy that lands international? And you can talk, of course, on the district basis. On that, we can obviously delve it at a higher level in terms of scaling. How do you attract the young population, especially that's coming in to a system like Lions International?
Well, Navdeep, I am massively fond of my Leos. So I see my Leos as um, the face of Lions in the coming years. So we need to give more autonomy to our Leos. We need to give them more opportunities, delegate more to them, because truth be told, with every passing generation, the manner in which they embrace technology, the manner in which they step out of their comfort zone is very different. The change is palpable. So I see our Leos, and I genuinely believe that if we give them more autonomy, if we give them more opportunities, if we delegate more, and if there is a certain project, if we are willing to allocate resources to them so that they can do better work and involve them as equals in Lions projects and meetings, definitely we will be having more influx of fresh blood and youth within our organization, which is currently, at least our district, is a senior organization.
Absolutely. On this particular follow-up again, you've got the entire experience of the district. You pretty much have an understanding in terms of how our district, Lions District 323183 operates. Uh, have there been any particular cases that you've actually seen in the neighboring districts or probably in the multiples around India or even the world, which you think are practices which apply to us and should be incorporated in the district in the coming times, just to kind of like make it a much more vibrant and more impactful district on a whole?
I will reiterate that if our, especially A3, if our Lions are more open to involving the Leos, because right now it truth be told, it's like Leos hain, bacche hain. We know better. I'm noticing that. So if we involve them, and if you admit that yes, perhaps they do know better, at least some things, we can definitely have a better district. So we need to have our Leos alongside our Lions. That's something which I would love to see in A3.
Fabulous. Well, let's talk a little about projects. Both of you have
Sure.
obviously attended great projects and stuff over your timelines. I would like both of you to iterate one particular project which you thought embodied everything that Lions International stands for. Uh, I'm not talking about the service aspect or the leadership or the membership aspect. What I'm talking about is how structured the organization is on a whole, how beautifully projects are conducted, how beautifully the follow-ups actually happen, and at the same time, the amount of impact that is actually created. So you can obviously mention something about a project which is very close to your heart, and it also embodied all these aspects that Lions International has to offer at the global level. Any of you can take up the question.
Okay. I'll take that. So, Navdeep, girl child education is something which is very close to my heart out of all the service areas. So, I will recount this one time that we were in a certain school, a girls' school, and there was a vision camp which was happening there. And the children there were obviously from very, very marginalized communities. And that girl would find it hard to read. And because this was a vision screening camp, um, she was screened and they realized that she had a very high number. And in Lions, we also distribute spectacles. So a number was similar to the spectacles that they had that was there for distribution. And when they gave that girl the spectacles, and when she wore those spectacles, the smile that was there on her face, the fact that she could read better, I could see a child with a brighter future instantly. So the smile on that girl's face, for me, that was the biggest impact. And after all, when Lion started off, Helen Keller, she challenged the lions to be the knights of the blind. So I actually saw, that challenge being fulfilled when I saw that big, broad smile on that girl's face, and it was priceless. I can read.
Fabulous. I think that's one of the what a smile can do is something which I have experienced on this particular show itself, because every single one, probably majority of the people who've come in actually had their eureka moment to be part of Lions just by experiencing this one moment. Someone getting a chance to see again, someone getting a chance on prosthetic legs, someone getting a chance on life again. I think that is where everything comes from. So fantastic on that particular part. Kanishk, your favorite project and the same aspects if you would like to highlight.
There are many projects, but one or two which I remember in particular are one at Punarvas, an institute at Goregaon, which caters to the needs and development of differently able children. So when I visited there and I interacted with children there, they greeted us with a nice song followed by all their activities. They remembered each one of us. This was my first visit. On the second visit, when I was there, they already knew me. That knowingness was there on their face. And sometimes in a world which is driven by constant need of validation, and that validation comes at a price at times. When you see, as a lawyer, I have seen everything, the entire spectrum, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Somewhere we feel that this is not something which makes me happy. That quintessential innocence that is lacking in our day-to-day social behavior, you find it at places like Punarvas. And it really touched me at Punarvas. And then there is one more institute at Matunga. These are the two places where we do our projects for differently able children. That is about our differently able children. And at Vikramgarh, it was an ashram shala where you have children from first to seventh standard, and all of them, they're there together, be it rainy season, summer, winter, they brave it all. Many of them, they don't have footwear, adequate footwear. They somehow manage to read books. Their books are also not as new and prim and proper as our city dweller spoiled kids get from affluent families. So, in spite of all that, whenever we see them, they have that basic tamiz, as I would term it, basic mannerism of walking up to us and greeting us with smile. in spite of having nothing in life. And here you have children who are from privileged backgrounds and they have everything. You send them to Jamnabai Narsis of the day and Arya Vidya Mandirs, so on and so forth. But when you see them in your cooperative housing society, very few amongst them have the decency to walk up to a particular uncle or auntie and wish them good evening, good morning, so on and so forth. So this is one difference which one can see in those rural children. And I remember my dad telling me that जब आपको रिसोर्सेस फिनेंशियल रिसोर्सेस कम मिलते हैं तब आप इंसानों की परख ज्यादा करते हो आप इंसानों को ज्यादा नजदीक रखते हो और चीजों को दूर रखते हो शायद ये बच्चे जो रूरल एरिया में हैं उन्हें इतनी ज्यादा चीजें उन पे शावर नहीं की जाती इतने वेकेशंस उन पे शावर नहीं की जाते आईफोन नहीं उन्हें दिए जाते सो दैट्स द रीजन व्हाई व्हेनेवर दे सी अस they are not tempted by all this gadgetry of the modern world. All that they have with them is pure love to offer. That is something which is a very touching experience at Vikramgarh.
Fabulous. Well, service is something which we've obviously talked about. We've talked about the structural, enhancement of the organization. Let's talk a little about leadership. Now, both of you have been leaders in your own respects, but at the same time, we'll talk about the leadership aspects that Lionism has to offer. A lot of people, misconstrued this particular concept that a service organization or an NGO only has one particular arm, and that is technically just doing social welfare. But Lionism, I believe, is one of those organizations which gives and builds leaders also within the organization. I would like both of you to give a little aspect about how the leadership enhancement in you as an individual has taken place because of course, you can talk about the Lions Institutes or even the courses that they offer on the LLC sections, or even the opportunities to lead projects as individuals, as members, as leaders. That has, in real world sense, incorporated or inculcated rather more leadership and more awareness amongst you as individuals. Unnati, you can take this first.
Thanks, Navdeep. Out of all the courses that I've attended, the crux of it all, the takeaway for me was how to be a service-driven leader. How can I be a leader with more empathy? How can I be a leader who walks her talk? How can I be a leader who listens before she speaks? How can I be a leader who responds and doesn't react? So this is something which Lionism and all the leadership seminars that I've attended in Lions, I have been greatly benefited in this respect.
Fabulous. Kanish, your perspective in terms of leadership?
I guess leadership is something which is, it is a matter of training, but it is something which is very, very instinctive in a person. You see a problem and something happens to you and you rise to the occasion and reach out to that issue rather than that issue coming to you. That is one part. In Lions, I have taken each board meeting as some kind of a leadership session in my club. That has helped me. I have attended whatever district activities, DG visit, whenever district governor visits, the questions which are asked by his team, by first and second VDG, by respective heads, that is something which is a learning process. It has helped me to understand the district perspective. Then in some GLT sessions which I have attended, I have seen people talking about Lionism and giving a general outline, the structural outline as well as roles assigned to club officers and so on and so forth. So it is all in all, I have understood that from the point of view of recording evidence in a court. When evidence is recorded by the judge, And finally, the recorded evidence is considered at the time of giving final verdict. So all these aspects are different aspects of recording a police statement, recording a defense witness's statement. So I see a lot of that in Lions when there are grievances between club officers, when there are issues about allocation of work, when there are two different subject matter heads who have a diverse outlook towards work, and when they reach out to governor, the kind of approach that is required to resolve that issue, all that I see that as an opportunity for a person like me. uh, I'm a self-declared student of law and life. So I see all of that in our district, and all of that has taught me different minute aspects of leadership.
That's great. That's fantastic. Let's talk a little now about one topic which is globally being talked about in Lionism. We all know that Mission 1.5 is the talk of the town. It's something which is being discussed everywhere. Everyone's coming up with their own activities, with their own strategies in terms of how to increase membership within Lions. And 1.5, of course, is a concept which is associated with 1.5 million members. That's a dream that a lot of Lions International leaders have. But at a lot of forums, at a lot of summits, it has been talked about differently by different leaders. Some of them talk about the quality of the membership is more important. Some of them talk about 1.5 only being a number as a reference. What's your take as individuals and leaders who are going to be obviously looking at this aspect within your club as well as your district levels in the coming future? Uh, Kanishk, I would like you to take this one up first.
Right.
Obviously, club president right now. Membership is one of the key aspects of obviously a club president also. And obviously, as and when you will move up the district. What's your aspect and vision when it comes to the Mission 1.5 that has been allocated by the Lions International, and how do you see that particular section coming up? Unnati, you can take it up once Kanishk finishes.
Sure.
I think that Mission 1.5 is a laudable objective that is given to us by Alliance International. In practical terms, we need to have a mechanism of creating resource mobilization centers at the ZC level. We have Leos with us, and we need to connect their aspirations to the different to the real markets. If we have a mechanism where we understand that we have a certain talent pool in HR, talent pool in a certain area, say in accountancy or event management or any field, and we are able to create a center at the zone chairperson's level. So that center works with region chairperson and ultimately with the district team as some kind of a recruitment agency or an agency which will help some credible recruitment agency, which will get in more corporates than freelance business persons to our fold for a one-to-one with our Leos. So once we incentivize being a Leo is directly proportionate to getting some access, some meaningful access in the corporate world, in the business world. Once we have that module at the zone chairperson's level, I think we'll give a lot of relevance to zone chairperson's position, and of course region chairperson's position. And we need to link life with livelihood. Now, a person who is in his 20s or 30s, this is the time for him to give his maximum inputs to his chosen field where he's going to get some kind of an employment. Now, if we address that issue and any Leo's participation with us, if we are able to associate with Jamnalal Bajaj or Narsim Monji or any management institute, IIM, and give some kind of a certification of that your participation for 2 or 3 years as a Leo Lion, along with that a written exam, we will give you a certificate which is valued in the employment market, which has some substance when you go for jobs in the job market. We need to think about such ways and means to retain our Leos, to get more Leos, and change the structure of our understanding towards these philanthropic activities. Just for the sake of doing philanthropy without there being any meaningful takeaway to today's youth is some kind of a hollowness. You can't just call people and make them sit, take their time, and tell them that this is noble work I am doing because I am your grandfather of your grandfather's age, and you also should do it. Why? Because it is noble. Because this is taught to me by my grandfather. That won't work. You must learn from them as to how they are dealing with their day-to-day life. Now, 80-90% of them, they come from far-off places. When they come to your club, do you offer them water? Do you offer them dignity? I'm talking about Lions. I think most of us do, but large number of us need to introspect as to how we reach out to them, and do we find any relevance in their dreams to come up in life? They are not just some number gathered around us so that our meeting, our event looks more glorious. So that needs some kind of an introspection from us, and we need to incentivize being a Leo in today's employment market.
Fabulous. I think that's a very well structured answer. Thank you for that. Unnati, your perspective.
Well, Navdeep, Mission 1.5 and all of that, fantastic. It's a great target to have. But personally, I feel that as Lions, what we need to ensure is that there definitely has to be quality over quantity. There is no point, having a huge number of new members coming in and none of them are doing anything for service. So on, whilst our books of account, Lionistic books of account, we see X number of members, but how many of them are service-minded? How many of them are actually doing the cause that we are here for, striving towards that? And when we see that the numbers aren't as many, then I wonder, what is the big idea of having so many members and none of them really want to do any good work? So it's more to do with the quality of members that we take in, and of course, great emphasis on the retention of existing members, because I'm sure a lot of effort went into having those members come in, and then they just, like autumn leaves, they fall off, and every 30th of June and 1st of July, we see drastic change in numbers. So then we wonder that were these members taken in to fan the aspirations of a particular person for a certain international recognition or some such thing? What really went wrong, and why aren't these members retained? That, I think, should be a subject which all of us Lions, the Lions who intend to die as Lions, need to introspect and look into that and perhaps work towards that and try and understand, because sometimes it's a very small trifling thing that perhaps I wasn't mentioned, my efforts weren't acknowledged, I was slighted. Sometimes it's not about certificates or accolades. It is just a smile or a pat on the back from someone who's leading the club, who said, you know what, you did well. And I promise you, that person will never leave. But sometimes it's that willful neglect, the war of egos, which causes members to leave. So I think retention is more important. Just having more members coming in without adequately taking care of the members who are already there is a futile exercise.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Yes, Kanish, you wanted to say something on this?
Yeah, I have one basic question to Lions International as an organization, that तुम्हारे उसूल तुम्हारे आदर्श, आपके उसूल और आपके आदर्श को गूंद के एक वक्त की रोटी नहीं बन सकती. So Lions International this year has introduced mental health as one of the subjects.
Yes.
AI is going to take away a large chunk of jobs from today's youth. Our Leos are battling with all such issues. So we have to have a system where we talk to them as if that person, that girl or a boy, is my son or daughter. I have to go in that role and think about Leos. वो एक भीड़ नहीं है जो मेरा जय जयकार करे. वो एक जिंदा तस्वीर है समाज की, जिसे मुझे जिंदा आदमी को जो उत्तर देना है, जो सवाल जवाब देना है, वो मुझे उन्हें देना है. मेरी जवाबदेही लियो के प्रति क्या होनी चाहिए has to be decided.
I actually just remembered that we had the weeks of service video submission where 6 Leo clubs of A3 actually submitted the mental health and well-being videos. And today we had a featuring of a 30-minute documentary that was compiled out of the videos that came out from everywhere around the world. And there was not a single mention of the Leo. So me being the bad cop and the Leo district chairperson again is going to be writing to international with regards to the same tonight. It's time that we actually start reprimanding and saying things which actually needed to be said a long time ago. But I'm really happy that both of you have a fantastic perspective. On that note, we'll obviously have we've got time only for the last two very very fun things that we wanted to do. One obviously is going to be like a couple rapid fire question, which I obviously end up asking both of you at the last. But just before that, something which is very close to your heart, and I've not talked about it in the episode as of now because it is important to cover these aspects from leaders like you, which you already have. But one thing is what I want to know, a little perspective on your experience with your Leos. Now, this year, of course, I can vouch as the Leo district chairperson that Carter Road is going off the roof. They are doing an absolutely incredible job. The Leos have been fabulous, and the new initiatives as well as the participation as well as intent on actually doing things in the best possible manner has been incredible. And I believe obviously it's due to leadership, but also because all of them have a fantastic way of working as a team. I would love to know, both of you guys have at least seen, the Leos in the last 3 years continuously working and have had an understanding of the Leos working at the district also, which is pretty much the best in the world as of now. So how has your experience been with the Leos and how do you see them progressing in the future? Unnati, we'll start with you.
Not just Leos of Lions Club of Mumbai Carter Road, but Leos of A3. I see a lot of promise in them. They're raring to go. They have wealth of ideas. We need to give them some structure as Lions and work hand in hand with them. It's not that we know more. I'm sure I've reiterated this. It's not that the Lions know more. It's about having this kind of a synergy and working together. So our Leos are doing brilliantly well, and I wish them all the very best. And I would love to see those Leos become Leo Lions and eventually Lions, and infuse all those fresh ideas and fresh blood, and so that we have a better A3 and eventually a better Lions International.
Absolutely. Kanish, your word on the Leos.
On Leos?
Yes.
We have fantastic Leos in our club. They're doing very well in our club. Most of their time, because I think today in our district or in Lionism, we have not given a certain structured incentive to our Leos that they have to allocate 50% of their time to some kind of a fellowship. They don't want to do fellowship all the time. They want to do meaningful work, but because as their seniors, maybe we have failed somewhere to give them a productive, structured system in which they can structure their aspirations properly. Just by saying that, by saying good things about Lionism, we are not going to change the reality that problems of Leos are not addressed properly by us. We need to sit down with them, I see Leos like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli talking to a defunct Ranji player and discussing about their goals to win World Cup. So many of our Leos, we have to keep up with their pace. They are fast, they're advanced, they're techno savvy, and because we don't understand their technology, but they are at crossroads of their life. Many important decisions uh, about choosing a particular job, career, taking a particular master's degree. मैं ये करूँ ना करूँ. I will have to take loan from my parents. And at such juncture, they come and they also have time for us. So it's a big privilege that we have that such youth, in spite of their demanding schedule, comes to us. We must honor their time and we must talk to them as fellow lions, as their colleagues, not as their superior people, sitting in judgment just because we have a better bank balance for whatever reasons. Or we are better placed today in the society. We don't have to battle with AI. We don't have to battle with employment issues. So we need to sit down with them, understand their perspective. And I am sure that a wonderful organization like ours can definitely evolve in a better way to embrace Leos on the platform of pragmatism, objectivity, and empathy.
Fabulous. I think that's great support, and I believe a lot of Leos will be very encouraged by listening to all of you. Now, finally, we got like a 1 minute session that is max left for us. So I'll ask you 5 quick questions, and I would need quick, short answers, just to end on a very fun note. Obviously, you both have been touted as one of the most amazing couples in Lionism. So, a little quirky questions of 5 from my end. So, who amongst both of you, and any of you can obviously take up and answer this question, who amongst both of you is more emotional?
More?
More?
Emotional.
Both.
Ganesh.
Okay. All right. Who amongst both of you is more adventurous?
Me.
Unnati.
Okay. Who forgets anniversaries, birthdays, and important dates?
Kanishk.
No, I don't.
Okay. The conflict there. So next question is going to be on the conflict. So who is the one who apologizes first after a fight?
Me.
Ganesh.
Okay. Great. Now I'll end with the last question. I think it's a very important question for both of you. The first movie or date you guys went on or watched together, and who chose it?
We okay. We
It was Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum.
Okay, that's fabulous. I think that brings a great end to this fantastic episode. I'm so thankful and grateful to both of you for coming on the show, for embracing this particular show, and giving us your wealth of knowledge for Lionism, as well as the aspects of the coming future that Lionism holds for all of us, and also giving your fabulous perspective towards Leos and in terms of how the young Lions also are supposed to take over the next generation of Lions International moving forward. Thank you once again, both of you, for coming on the show from the entire team of Soul of Lions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Navdeep,
Navdeep.
for having
Thank you,
us.
Navdeep.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode number 269 for the Soul of Lions. An absolutely power-packed episode from the power couple who came and embraced us today. It is fantastic to listen to their views, the understandings that they possess. If any of you missed this particular live episode, do go onto our YouTube channel of Lion Raju Manwani and please watch this episode, because it's got a lot in store for every walk of life, every sector of humanity. Watching this particular show to take something away from this particular episode and from these fabulous individuals who came and gave their perspectives today on this show. This is your host, Lion Navdeep Nigam, for episode 269. Until next week, it's good night and goodbye.